It was under the scorching Bangkok sky that I first seriously thought about what it means to be alive. That moment wasn't just a scene from a trip. It became something much deeper. This March, in the 36-degree heat of Bangkok, I found myself caught in an unexpected situation during what was supposed to be a simple sightseeing visit. Let me introduce myself. My name is Wakako Fukushima, a second-year student at the Japan Coast Guard Academy. I'm training every day with the goal of becoming a Coast Guard officer who protects lives at sea. Today, I'd like to talk about that unforgettable day in Bangkok, what I experienced, what I learned about the value of life, and why disaster preparedness is so important. Bangkok is a lively city that attracts visitors from around the world. Its glittering temples and bustling food stalls are always filled with people, smiles, and energy. As expected from the land of smiles, Thai people are calm, kind, and incredibly welcoming to travelers. But that day, I chose to visit a rather unusual place, the Sri Raj Medical Museum, often called the Death Museum. The museum displays the images of murder, accident victims, bones, weapons, and even preserved fetuses with congenital conditions. It was overwhelming, shocking even, but it confronted me with the raw reality of how fragile life is. Some of the displays were truly hard to look at, but I kept thinking, these people probably wanted to live longer. I had thought I understood death and illness in theory, but when I saw it all up close, the meaning of being alive felt completely different. Just as we were about to leave, I suddenly felt dizzy. At first, I thought it was just fatigue or dehydration, but something was clearly wrong. People around me were acting strange. And then, the building began to shake violently. That's when I realized it was an earthquake. Being from Japan, I was used to earthquakes and didn't react right away. I thought, this isn't too bad. But then I saw doctors and nurses rushing out from the hospital connected to the museum, and I heard people screaming. That's when I truly realized the seriousness of the situation. I grabbed my mother's hand and we ran outside. The courtyard, which had just moments ago been calm and quiet, almost peaceful, was suddenly flooded with people. Everything changed in an instant. It felt like we had stepped into a movie scene. After the shaking stopped, the outside of the hospital turned into what looked like a battlefield clinic. Medical staff brought patients outside one after another, and makeshift treatment areas were set up. Under the blazing sun, there were elderly patients fighting for life, people who looked like they'd been in the middle of surgery, and family members desperately calling their names. It was exactly what a disaster scene looks like. As someone training to one day be in charge of protecting lives, I felt the gravity of that responsibility more deeply than ever before. Eventually, people started to calm down, and my mother and I tried to head back to our hotel. But all public transportation was down. The subway had stopped, buses weren't running, and the streets were gridlocked. We had no choice but to walk through unfamiliar Bangkok street for 6 hours straight. Along the way, we met another traveler from Taiwan who was also stranded. We walked together, encouraged each other, and shared stories. Even though we were from different countries and cultures, it reminded me of something simple but powerful. We are all human, and in times of need, people naturally reach out to help one another. That spirit of kindness brought a little bit of comfort in the middle of all the confusion. The next day, as the city was slowly returning to normal, I visited the site of a collapsed 34-story building. Rescue workers were searching through the rubble, desperately looking for survivors. It felt surreal, like watching a distant news broadcast, except I was standing right there. I was deeply moved, not only by the terrifying destruction, but by the strength and determination of those everything to save lives. At our academy, I train every day to be able to respond to maritime disasters and emergencies. Rescues in rough seas or during storm require skill, calm judgment, and teamwork. But this experience in Bangkok wasn't just about disaster training. It changed me. It taught me the true weight of life, the harsh reality of disasters, and the kindness of strangers. And it reminded me why I chose this path in the first place. Moving forward, I will continue to train hard, keeping this experience close to my heart while holding on to the mission of saving lives. I hope that by my sharing my story today, I have given you a moment to reflect on the meaning of life as well. Thank you very much for listening.